Today is Sunday, Parashat Zot Haberacha, but actually it's the eve of Sukkot. We're coming into the holiday of Sukkot tonight, and one of the aspects of this beautiful holiday, which is Zman Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing, is that we have the 7 ushpizin, the 7 guests that come to visit the Sukkah. It's a holiday where we typically invite guests to come and join us in our Sukkah. And the 7 guests are Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, and David. Well, each one of them represents a certain aspect of spirituality. As we go into the holiday, which is very symbolic in terms of being in the Sukkah, we're symbolically under the wings of the Shekhinah, of the divine presence, the divine clouds that the Sukkah represents. And we come into a place that is not very physical or material in terms of its walls or its roof. It's just made of vegetation. We really are focusing on the spiritual, and therefore these 7 guests that come to the Sukkah, each one of them is the guest of honor on a specific day. On the first day it's Avraham Avinu, the second Yitzchak, the third Yaakov, the fourth Moshe, then it's Aaron, then it's Yosef and David. And what it means to tell us is, in going into the theme of spirituality, we are to emulate these 7 holy guests, that each one of them represented a certain quality of spirituality. The first one, Abraham, represents chesed, kindness. That's the first step. The first step is to be kind, to be a giving person, you have both giving and taking. Well, no, giving is always much better, to give to others, to help others in need. That's chesed, that's to do acts of kindness, and that's step 1 in spirituality. The next step is represented by Yitzchak. Yitzchak has to do with gvura, with the strength. Gvura in Hebrew is strength. It's the self-discipline to overcome the Yetzirah, to overcome the evil inclination. When there are temptations, we have to have that strength to overcome the temptation, and that's the aspect of gvura of Yitzchak. That's the next step. Then we have Yaakov. Yaakov is a merging of both kindness and strength and discipline to come together into a certain combination of the two. You cannot be overly giving or overly in terms of strength, overly strict discipline. So we need the merging of the two to come to a kind of a middle road, and that's the tiferet, that is represented by Yaakov Avinu, the midah, the quality of tiferet, of glory, of the merging of the two, chesed and gvura. Then we go into Moshe. Moshe represents the eternity of the Torah, and how the Torah is really the best guarantee of the eternity of Am Yisrael. It has to do with Netzach. Netzach is eternity. Then we come to the qualities of Aaron. On the 5th day, Aaron loved peace, he pursued peace, and he loved people, and he got them closer to Torah. He was a person that we are told in Pirkei Avot that we should always try to be one of his disciples, and that's another aspect in spirituality, to go according to the quality of Aaron. Then the 6th day is Yosef. Yosef is foundation, and it has to do with self-control, in terms of modesty, in terms of what we expose our eyes to, all sorts of aspects that have to do with what's called in Hebrew the Shmirat Habrit, Shmirat Ha'inayim, to keep the sanctity of the Jewish people in terms of modesty, morality, that type of thing. Then finally it's David HaMelech on the 7th day, and David is the kingship. What is kingship? Is David HaMelech, even though he was the all-powerful king of the Jewish people, and he was the head of the country, he directed all the kingship to Hashem. He's in spirituality. You have to realize that all the kingship and all the greatness and all the glory is actually Hashem's. And you direct all of it, and you accept the kingship and the dominion of Hashem. That's a high level of spirituality. And each one of these days of Sukkot, we focus on another one of these qualities as represented by the guest of honor of that day. So tonight it's going to be Avraham Avinu is the guest of honor amongst all the 7 guests that are coming to the Sukkah. and wishing all of you a Chag Sameach, Chag Sukkot Sameach, תזכו שנים רבות, נעימות וטובות, גמר חתימה טובה, ברוך אדוני לעולם, אמן ואמן.